I paid off my parents' mortgage for 3 straight years. But at the family dinner, my dad raised his glass and said, "Let's thank your brother for covering the house payments all this time." My brother smirked, even though he never paid a cent. My mom just nodded proudly. I didn't say a word, just pulled out my phone, requested a full refund, and watched their smiles disappear one by one. Prat 1. My name's Adrian, I'm 28, and I've always been the kind of guy who keeps his head down, works hard, and doesn't ask for much. Quiet, maybe to a fault. While other people splashed their accomplishments all over social media or made sure every good deed was public knowledge, I preferred doing the right thing in silence. Maybe I got that from my grandfather. He used to say, "The loudest people are usually the least dependable." I believe that. Still do, mostly. 3 years ago, after my dad got laid off from his job at the steel plant and the bills started piling up, I stepped in without being asked. My parents had always given me a roof over my head when I was younger, and despite our complicated relationship, I thought I could return the favor now that I had a stable job in IT. Their mortgage was around under $300 a month, not outrageous, but more than they could manage without Dad's paycheck. I offered to take it over, quietly. No fanfare, no strings. I didn't even want them to tell anyone. Just wanted them to feel secure. And for 3 straight years, I paid it, every month, on time. I even automated it through my bank. They didn't have to lift a finger. It wasn't just the mortgage, either. There were little things. New tires on my mom's car when she didn't know how she'd pass inspection. A new fridge when the old ones started leaking water all over the kitchen floor. I never brought any of it up. Never said, "Look what I did," or asked for a thank you. It felt good enough knowing they could sleep easier. That's what I kept telling myself, anyway. But over time, I started noticing something off. My younger brother Derek, 25, charming, cocky, the kind of guy who could talk himself into or out of anything, started acting strangely possessive about the house. It began subtly. He'd say things like, "I told Dad not to repaint the shutters yet. Waste of money." Or, "Mom should have asked me before moving the grill." Stuff that made it sound like he had some kind of say in household decisions. I brushed it off at first. He still lived with them off and on, usually between failed business ventures or breakups. So maybe he just felt territorial. Then came the offhand comment from Aunt Lily during a backyard barbecue. "It's so generous of Derek to help out the way he does. Not every kid would step up for their parents like that." I looked at her, confused, and she just smiled and added, "You've got a good brother." I didn't correct her. I didn't say anything. But it stuck in my head. The next time I was over, I casually asked my mom if she or Dad had said anything about who was paying the mortgage. She waved me off, saying something like, "People assume what they want. It's not our job to correct every little thing." But it wasn't a little thing. That was my money. My sacrifice. And I couldn't help but wonder if maybe they were letting people assume on purpose. Maybe they liked how it felt when people praised Derek. Maybe they didn't see the harm in it. I tried to let it go. Truly I did. But then, came the family dinner. That damn dinner. It was a casual Sunday get-together at my parents' house. Just the immediate family and a couple of uncles and cousins. Nothing fancy, just barbecue and beer, everyone sitting out on the patio. We were celebrating my dad's birthday. I brought him a new set of tools, and ones I knew he'd never buy for himself. Derek brought, well, himself, which was par for the course. Midway through dinner, as everyone was digging into the ribs and laughing about something Uncle Ray had said, my dad stood up, raised his glass, and clinked it with a knife. "I just want to take a second," he said, "to acknowledge someone who's really gone above and beyond these last few years. We wouldn't have made it through without him." I felt a small warmth in my chest. Finally, I thought. Not that I needed praise, but after everything, a quiet nod in front of the family would have meant something. "To Derek," Dad said, lifting his glass higher, "for stepping up, being the man of the house, and helping us keep things afloat. You've been a real blessing, son." My stomach dropped. I looked across the table at Derek. He didn't look surprised, didn't even hesitate. He just smirked, lifted his own glass, and said, "Wouldn't have it any other way." Everyone started clapping. My mom dabbed her eyes with a napkin. Even my cousin Kyle muttered, "That's what family's about." I didn't say a word. I sat there, frozen, hearing their voices in slow motion. My ribs felt like lead in my stomach. I didn't even taste the food anymore. I glanced at my mom, hoping, praying, for correction, some clarification. But she just nodded proudly at Derek, like he really had been the one writing the checks every month. That was the moment something cracked inside me. I didn't make a scene. I didn't stand up or slam my glass. I just quietly pulled out my phone and tapped into my banking app. I scrolled through the scheduled payments. 3 years worth of monthly transactions, each one like a reminder of how much I'd given without asking for anything in return. I canceled the automatic payments. I hovered for a second before hitting confirm. And as I looked up, my dad was still smiling at Derek. My mom was reaching for her phone to take a picture of him with the birthday cake. My brother was leaning back in his chair like he owned the whole backyard. They didn't notice the shift. Not yet. But they would. Oh, they would. And that was just the beginning. I didn't sleep that night. After the dinner, I drove home in silence. No music, no podcast. Just the sound of my turn signal blinking in the dark, like it was ticking down to something bigger.